Hey you guys, how's it going? It's MJ. Um, I'm trying this again on the YouTube. My voice is a little rough today actually. I could feel it coming on yesterday and I just knew I was clearing loads. Actually, my whole body's pretty achy. I Some of you guys know though this is like all part of the le fleur as far as like awakening, becoming self-responsible. And um I actually I it's like actually difficult for me to use even the word. Hey Justin, I'm gonna try to be more sensitive to my vocals today. Actually, that's fairly relevant considering I'm having a little bit of clearing. That's what I was gonna say. So I've completely transformed my language around the well-being industry, you could say, or the health care industry, in that I just don't buy into the belief system that our bodies ever get like sick. I always use the expression like my body is clearing something because again, on that manifestation level, we understand that our external reality, including our own body, is a manifestation. And so whenever something's coming out or coming up, it's actually a healing, it's a divine healing. So you flip everything around in new paradigm, right? So old paradigm, like your body is sick, boo. And actually, the way I look at it is like the manifestation of the so-called sickness is actually the body's healing, right? So it's like if we get a bee sting and the hand swells up, the swelling is actually um healing. It's not like, ah, oh no, my hand's gonna fall off. No, because the swelling is happening, it's healing. Um, true, right? So fifth world, it's like when we have the dissolution of the 3D paradigm, uh, or again, like the corrupted forces ruling the show, our own darkness or demons. Once we integrate that, there's no conflict. Therefore, there's no dis-ease. There's no I use the expression density or distortion in the Fearless Life Guide, right? Hey Hemi, how are you? I don't have a specific. So welcome to Ultra Love TV. For some of you, while I'm looking at Hemi, you're a new name to me. I haven't seen. I'm assuming you're speaking about maybe a video or two. Hey Matthew, a video or two that you've maybe watched about people talking about a shift that's happening on the 21st. Feel free to share with me what you've gathered. I have spoken briefly about my perception of things like the event. I speak pretty much perpetually about what we call the paradigm shift here, right? So um, yeah, Yo Roots. I'm looking down Instagram now. Yo Roots, right? It just takes a little while. Once you get it, you get it. And then if you don't, you certainly can't force this stuff on people. That's just not the way at all. Good morning, soul family. How are you? Again, I got a really lovely comment from one of you about just like, sometimes when you go like, and how relevant is it that like um my voice is like this today, i.e. the signs of like, stay more anchored, more centered, the suns may line up, the three suns. So fifth world, I think this is on. I think this is happening. This is part of. So I don't know, a month ago, I tuned into Santos Bonacci, and I'm a little bit aware of all that as far as we're undoing our 3D reality with our language, um, like outworking it or uncreating that which desires to be uncreated. And then the three suns lining up. There's the two Sirius, I believe, and our sun. And that's the binary solar system. That's the age of Aquarius. That's us moving into the golden age. It's the infinity loop that Earth's trajectory is forever on, of a creation station, for souls to move from darkness into light. These are, again, intuitive nudgings. I share purely intuitively, which is why I remain quite clear, quite quiet. I have a fairly quiet life, and I'm very discerning and diligent with the energies that I interact with on a physical. Um, Justin, I use no neural, so I'm not sure what that is, but I've in the recent years used music as well, even going to live things like gong baths and whatnot. Binaural, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I use that as well, and it's fantastic, right? Because you can get like what do I want to say? You can get like the specific beats for specific ailments. Like some of the creators, I think, some of the musicians, I think, are even guided as far as like what beats work for what. Just like some of us as empaths, we're guided to have a intuitive awareness in the present moment of stuff going on in our own field or in the field of that reflection beyond us. Yeah, yeah, same. And I dip in and out. I used a lot of it um actually when I was teaching a lot of yoga still. So when I was still teaching maybe like 2 or 3 sessions a day. And obviously you're outputting a fair amount of energy and when you're grafting like that. And I would often need to have like rest time, but I didn't want to go into deep sleep or even shavasana, or yeah, it would be shavasana, but I didn't want to fall asleep. So I'd often just lie there with some tones that might balance my chakras. Or sorry guys, I'm just getting a phone call. Hey, hey Bruce, how are you? Fifth world. Tell me more about. So you're not 100% on the binaural beats. I feel that. It's to do with the messenger ultimately, right? And I'm not sure. High vibration hurts 4 through 2 all the time. I resonate with that. It's most by getting me to listen to them. Yo, roots. So yeah, I've been through that as well for sure. And synchronicities and numbers. Hells to the users, my friends. Usually if there's a fairly potent transition or directional um yeah, discernment, right? And then directional guidance. We just want to be using discernment. I mean, we discuss all this stuff. We talk about the having our music be in resonance with the earth's resonance. That's part of our um mainstream media programming. That's why I talk a lot about unplugging. Mainstream media programming uses like a less sacred um hertz, is that what it is? Less sacred something or other. Hi Bruce. And yeah, so the binaural beats I'm pretty sure would all be in resonance with Earth's field. And then we have certain like streamed pop music. It's like certain buildings, like say maybe places like Walmart. Although I'm just like sort of winging it here. Like I don't have factual information with any of this, but actually there is some like some hospitals, schools. I'm in the UK, you guys, so I'm more speaking of structures here. Yeah, schools and like corporation, ultimately corporation who have built big warehouses for like grocery shopping and stuff. A lot of those buildings are unsacred. So, and that it's not like do do do, but in such a way, it's like our bioresonance field as humans, and most of us don't. And like that goes to show again how deeply numbed out and or disconnected the collective can be, and or we were once. Is that you just kind of get dumbed down, and that's part of why sometimes we might go into a shop like that and think, okay, I'm just going to buy coffee, and then we come out with a bag full of stuff, and it's part of almost like interfering with our natural Schumann resonance or our natural bioresonance field, which most cities and built up places, that's really heavily masked, and yet this is why we're here, right? Amazing. Thank you for sharing, Fifth World. I don't know either. I mean, this kind of stuff is fairly new to me. I'm not particularly No, exactly. Here's the thing, Justin, as well, I'm aware of it. So that's why I mean, you're a crystal person, right? And so oh, by the way, you guys, something that's come through around the that's right, Earth. That's right, yo root. So one thing that's come through, and some of you guys might be on this already, but the Organite I've spoken to, well, Karen, one of our regulars here, she kind of updated me about like this is what it is, this is how you make it, and then it came through again. Yesterday I was having a meeting actually with somebody, and they mentioned somehow, as you do, because you guys know Sasha, who I interviewed for Spirituality Simplified, he's about to release another movie about the 5G. Some of you guys I know Mike from Fifth World, you've spoken of the chemtrails. I don't go into great detail or great length, anything to do with divisive tactic or fear mongering. I don't go into detail. At the same time, usually what I tend to naturally stumble upon are like the remedy or the antidote to certain um, fearful stories in the collective, including the chemtrail and including. So I'm talking about stuff that like it's it's like it's a lose-lose kind of thing. That's what I'm talking about. You know, the chemtrails and the 5G, and they're just pushing all this stuff, and it's like everyone's gonna get. We're just suffocating from every fucking orifice, right? And it's like in the all to love hot vibrashe. It's like okay, boom. Like it's like, okay, I see the darkness and focus on the light. Okay, I see the darkness and focus on the light. Okay, I see the darkness and then focus on the light. So my friend who mentioned the organite, I want to say, you correct me if I'm speaking it wrong, but it is a crystal. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but there's something called organon. Karen, you'll know what I'm talking about because you sent me an email about this, and you can actually make it. So you make, so whatever, so this, what I'm talking about is like two combined, I think it's like copper, or like you combine something with, um, with the substance. I'm not speaking this very well. I apologize, you guys. Argonaut? No, it's with an O, so it's like organote, organite. And I was even told how to say it, and I'm being, hi Colleen. So my apologies. So yes, real roots. Exactly. So it's like, when you think of like 5G is like totally potentially corrupting our natural bioresonance field. So it's imperative ultimately that we find that which will clear those airwaves and kind of keep our now. This is the truth that I feel in my heart and intuition. We are protected and we are guided. The truth is, like, no thing outside of you can harm you unless you give your power to it. That is the truth. Nice, Bruce. Beautiful, beautiful. Um, so hey Craig, how are you? This is right, Hemi. So it's like if we just focus on all that craziness because it's literally being bombarded everywhere, then that's what we merge with. That's what we become. If we meditate more, relax more, spend time in nature, choose to be around positive people that reflect back, like you can make your dreams and you can do anything, and just positive people who believe in the goodness of the world and humanity and da 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 da, da, then you can create that type of existence for yourself. It's just that for whatever reason, a lot of us got quite deeply entrenched into that kind of systematic indoctrination, and we're having to really sort of break free. Organite, that's what it's called. That's what it's called. Thank you. Precisely. So we just have to not feed that too much, right? And and then I was well, it is, Colleen, and that's why that's why pretty much I just show up every day, because like after reading a few of the books or whatever, I was suddenly like, Oh, as in, it wouldn't be fun if we just instantly manifested. It would be actually, but hi, gracious love. How are you? It's so funny you just said golden hearts. Something I'm like either on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. Golden hearts literally just kind of like appeared. How funny! I must go look at it then. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. Amethyst is another one. Amethyst and quartz and rose quartz. They're really beautiful kind of healing properties and cleansing, um lifting up the vibration. That's why I see a lot more and more people who have quite large crystals in their home. It's a functional clarifier, as it were, for the energy. So saging and crystals are actually things that can help to harmonize the field for us, right? Hi, gracious love. Bless you. Labradorite. I have a little labradorite necklace, which I'm not wearing. Pardon me, but labradorite from Wanderlust Life, she talks about labradorite as the bringer of light and companion through change. I'm sure there's like, you know, plenty more where that came from. um, so Instagram fam, you guys can let me know. You guys can let me know if you're digging on the Yo Roots. This is the second time I've seen you here, so like I really appreciate it. Interesting, Justin. I love it. See, we all have these different functions and points of attraction. Oh, gracious love, I so feel you. It's like the story of the empath life. It's like from the time we realize like something's a little off here. Everyone seems to be functioning quite okay here. It's like, yeah, that's part of our, and that's I guess why more and more of us are coming out the woodwork, you could say, because it's challenging. And so the truth, like that's why we res with one another, is that we feel it and we feel that we get it, because we a lot of us have spent so long with people just looking at us sort of dumbfounded or total crazy lunatics, or actually worse, sort of like demonic like people who need to just step in line kind of thing. And this we and like we're just there with this like compassionate heart being like, but I feel pain. I'm pretty sure you've got a wound in there somewhere. They're like, how dare you? What am I saying? I don't even know, right? I do hope that I've toned it down with the kind of sharpness of the voice, right? Colleen, actually I was about to say that's so true, but it's not true. I'm very, very small. But okay, Colleen, and this is just legit, like it's all turnaround. Like and this is like, I literally say this with so much love and compassion with regard to having infinite love and like so much gratitude for like literally every single person who has ever, every lesson, good or bad, in my life has been divine. And so every human being, i.e., me, the reflection on this path that has presented itself, like every single being is truly divine. But a lot have come and go, right? And interestingly, larger cycles have brought the closing of fairly longer relationships that I assumed at some points would be there forever. I figured these people would be a part of my life, and situations turned around. And then often when that happens, it's usually, in my awareness, to do with an overlay. It's because both of us are projecting stuff. And then actually, to become the sovereign divine beings that we're meant to become, we actually have to let each other go. You have to let go of those false projections, i.e., the overlays, and have separation, have distance, have time to clear and heal and come back to the center of the self, come back to the unity self, right? Colleen, similar. Okay, and that's okay. So this is just fair enough. This is like very, very typical of our spiritual awakening process, that we're just like, what is life? What is the point of any of this? And like nobody fucking understands what I'm talking about. And or not only, this is the thing about going vegan as well. And I've got this from the case study guy, because he's now returned to America and he's sending me updates about how it's going. And like he was kind of joking, but it's totally resonant. It's like, make changes and trigger everybody around you, and like have everybody like go vegan, and have every meat eater on the planet start attacking you for the food choices that you're making, and this isn't obviously totally true, but this is a lot of the experience we have. So what I was saying there is, not only do people not get it, but sometimes people actually go out of their way to demonize it. So like their pain body then kind of goes into overwhelm and or threaten. So your existence, because of its light filled nature, is threatening me, therefore I need to attack you. That's usually the dictation of the ego. The ego is usually what wants to blame and attack everything outside to keep itself in its identity, which is whatever stories and beliefs you've been telling yourself up to this point. This is why the unraveling of our belief systems is multi-layered, is because we're all 100% unique. So there really is no comparative analysis that justifies our own experience. So we have to perpetually remind ourselves to go in, and then we're born into a world that sort of is feeding us perpetual distraction, including these YouTube channels, unfortunately. But not here, you guys. Ultra Love TV is just pure heart love vibrashe. And stuff. So becoming more aware of our consumption patterns, that's pretty much what the 4 pillars focus on, whether it's TV, and consumption is also like, are you sitting and meditating? Hence spirituality simplified. Like, can we find more quiet time? And I have to remind myself, I'm like, some of you as empaths, you guys might get this, right? Some of you might be on a path, certainly after the last maybe 10 years, or again, I'm not here to compare, but I am here to share. So like, what was I saying? So like the masses now, it's like, are being forced to wake up and go within and sort stuff out, where weirdly a lot of us as empaths, we're being kind of pushed to step out. Like, stop hiding, speak up, or stop denying your truth and share it. And then where other people, where their tactics for control manipulation might have worked for them for a certain amount of time, that's not working anymore. And so it's like, I'm hearing it's time for the narcissists to deal with their karma, kind of thing. That could be my ego saying that, but I'm saying it in jest, to be honest. Just in its same. So I gotta be honest. So what I'm sitting with after the intensity of the last few years is actually the fact that now what I feel is just the residue. It really is my pure, pure love. So you're just saying it's pure love and you never see hate. And I really resonate with that. Like, and that's part of why I've been showing up in this way, is that I've been doing the work for many years. And over the years, like, that is my experience. It's just like beautiful, truth, love, peace, paradise. Like the original book title for the Fearless Life Guide was called Path to Paradise, because I felt like once I surrendered and then surrendered again and then surrendered again, my life just was and I never thought this is the thing, is like I end up moving to a small coastal town in Devon, having a miraculously successful like yoga career. Again, all the most successful things just like a moth to a flame, like found me. And then it continuing to let go and surrender. And then this is why it's so paradoxical, why you want to get your head out of it. Because weirdly, what we think we want isn't really necessarily what we want, and how life moves us. That's our choice. That's our divine will. That literally is what's going to lead us to the manifestation of our purest heart intent. But our heart and our infinity is so beyond the mind that actually we just, our practice is just to kind of step away from the thought, kind of step away from this, and just like be here. And we talk about this a lot. Exactly, Justin, right? This is the thing about internet. It's like, yeah, it's like we're really finding each other. And again, like there's such a circle of love that sounds like, so I don't know, cliche or like something cringe that like my old self would be like, Circle of love. Oh my God, what are those hippies doing over there? And now I'm like, guys, let's be in a circle of love. Oh God. I hear ringing quite a bit. Um, okay, the fifth world. Thank you for the explanation. Thank you for the explanation. That makes sense to me somehow. Your roots is with me here on Instagram, still laughing at me, which is good. A mini tourist trap wasting my knowledge out with tourists. See, my spirit. So, and that's really relevant that I'm aware of. Like, and that's the thing about us being in our function in like 3D reality. It's like everything we radiate is affecting the collective, and no matter where we are, we can be present in our function. We can be present with the beings around us, tourists, travelers, or no one. Even when we're alone, we can still be a radiant example of our own self-compassion and our own ease. This is part of my turnaround as well with the flipping of the paradigm. Is like I I have a lot of lazy days, like straight talking. The weirdest thing is that I'm more productive than ever. I'm more effective than ever. I'm more I show up in like a more sort of authentic and truthful way than ever. But like the weird paradox is like I'm more chill. I just relax. But this is the where it's a paradox. I'm like, how do I get so much done? I'm always relaxed. I'm pretty much chilling, and sometimes I'm not. And like that's the thing about the Fearless Life Guide and how it kind of heals us back to authenticity. But in our authenticity, i.e., beyond the divisive concept of spirituality, in our authenticity, we're just more like children. It's not that we don't feel emotion. I have no desire to control my emotional field. I want to be able to just be with it. And if it's angry, let it be angry. And so and ultimately what I've grown into is just choosing to surround myself with people who understand what I'm talking about, who firmly get it that there's no emotion that we need to just push aside or do without. And either party, if there's an emotional reaction, that one can hold space. And what I'm learning in my more intimate relationships is like, if we're having a reaction, it's best just to walk away. And weirdly, often what you'll notice in myself and others, like in our uh so when we're reactive, we kind of go for it, and both parties, they often really go at each other because the pain body is wanting to justify its rightness or existence. So the more discerning and the more awareness we build and gain from within, we don't really ever need to have those kind of explosive, violent outbursts with our loved ones. We just can feel it coming up and make the other aware, like, whoa, I'm having an emotional storm right now, and then give each other space. Once it's cleared, and then you can talk a lot more openly and honestly about it. I know. My Sky, Mike, same. Like increasingly, I'm like, this is cool. Like this is really fun and exciting, and I'm aware. Hey, Kurt Mel, I suddenly and you're so on it, right? So because Mike, April, all you guys here that are especially regulars, it's like um I noticed that we're all watching very similar content. Now, it's not like we all told each other what each other is watching. It just so happens that we're like, so again, this is divine. This is all divinely guided. We're all resonating in a pretty aligned harmonic um we're resonating in a pretty aligned harmonic frequency, right? Which to me is like, okay, so this is the divine restructuring, the divine reordering. Because oh yeah, what's this share called? It's called lessons learned, my friends. We've learned our lessons. We remember how to actually love ourselves and nurture ourselves, and we're still learning. Like straight up, I'm still in residue energies. I'm not going to pretend like I'm not. I'm still facing my past shadows around like self-hatred, self-denial, self-disgust. So like just that's I know. And like one of you I saw comment about, whoa, I can't imagine you ever wanting to hide. I'm like, right. Same. I kind of forget that that was my existence. Like I was heavily programmed by the system and hated myself and spent most of my adult life in combative fucking violent self-loathing, with self-medication and although you guys know I'm still like a cannabis queen a little bit, um, suicidal tendencies, like extreme. It's just you can name it, right? All of it, that kind of self-harming stuff, and all these years later, and again, this is the efficacy of things like meditation and yoga and mindfulness. They really are powerful healing practices. It's just that what I noticed in our quick fix 3D paradigm reality is that people just do it for me, or like just give me a pill to fix it, or just tell me what to do. And yoga requires us to be self-reflective. Yoga requires us to look at ourselves and to feel and to practice, right? We practice being quick fixy and undisciplined, so let's practice being the other, which just requires a little bit of hot love vibrashe for the self. Hi Starseed, how are you? See, I hope that wasn't too loud. I can work on this. I'm going to continue to work on this. I got a comment, you guys, just so you know what I'm banging on about. I got a comment from somebody just being like, there's like a really loud jarring, and I relate to that because a really good friend of mine, he's a musician and he's very sensitive, like on every level. And my sister was really sensitive with sound and hearing, so like I also notice like when it can be really annoying and you're really loud. Have the best stretchy pants. I love it, Spirit Windwalker. Oh, guys, I'm sorry. I want to go back up because I was seeing Truth Kindness and Sinker Backstreet Boys. You cracked me up. Glad I tuned in. Thanks, Fifth World. I love everything about you guys. I just love how much positivity. That's what you were sharing, right? How much positivity we're sharing. Hi, Kurt Mill. Digression here, but have you ever watched Futurama? I have. At like early days when Simpsons was all the rage, and then they brought out Futurama. So I don't know the show very well, though, if I'm honest. But I absolutely know of it, and I have watched it, but I haven't actually watched. People ask me like about this movie star, like this pop star, and like I actually don't know. Like and I'm like proud of that. I'm like, who are you even talking about? Like, what next fucking idle bullshit propaganda are they pushing on you now for you to devalue yourself and give this movie star more power than they deserve, kind of thing? Even though like I have mad respect for all life and all artistry, it's not that. But again, control domination has got to go, right? So yeah, I have watched that. This emotional auric field is intact. We cry more. I feel more, experience more vibrations, get angry. Yeah, right. I love that. It's more intact, and I feel the resonance of that. I feel the integrity. I just feel the integrity from within the self, and like no, once you get here, you're like no one's gonna mess with this. It's like you got to be responsible for your own heart, love, vibrashe, you guys. Oh, there was a message. Kurt Mill, I just really agree with like the supporting and noticing how we're all connected on different channels. I just think it's super divine. And like so many of us have probably been vibrating this, visioning this for like a while, knowing that like I knew in 2015 I had someone come in. This was coming a little bit because I was sharing on YouTube, but then somebody actually, again, almost in a divine way, came into my reality, basically just to tell me like you're gonna have a career online. And then this is me fully stepping into that. Hello, beautiful souls. Sinov, you can start yoga. You're beautiful. Oh, well, anyone can start yoga because we're all beautiful. And there's so much stuff online with it. Check out Spirituality Simplified. There's 8 weeks of different styles there. It's all me, obviously, but I have a very diverse, obviously, practice after all these years. So spirit wind, and that's something I could talk about more, and that's what I still share about like being in the residue of all the self-loathing and self-hatred is like I've worked through a lot of that, and so when the residue patterns start to come up, there's like all the memory of like the fear and the like out of controlness and the like which I think has actually a lot to do with the contracts we have to enter this earth field. For a lot of us, our body is the main contract. See, intuition. I just come up with these things. I'm like, what? Our body is the main contract? So yeah, actually that makes sense. The self-healing node is like ultimately what is mega profound, i.e. becoming the awakened, enlightened, self-actualized being. Once we sort of really are in dominion of the vessel, then I think we're but again, I'm hearing that's a big piece of that is the non-judgment and acceptance because we're all so unique. We can't judge one another's experience, which is why we're moving into authenticity versus any kind of dogmatic spirituality, i.e., this is how you have to be spiritual. You have to behave like this. You have to da 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 da. That's sort of old paradigm because again, it's divisive, and the propensity to judgment is too great. And so we have to rise into our authenticity to actually be able to perceive a non-duality to find our harmonic signature. And that's making me think about one of you, Aaron, I think, who mentioned in a message here, in a comment or an email about just the harmonics and like feeling, hence with the resonance. The resonance is resonance because it's a resonant. Internet doesn't, there's not actually space in quanta. In quantum reality, there's no space, there's no time. So we are all one and we're all biofeedbacking off of the essence that we are. That's how we know we get along because we understand one another. And we know the difference because a lot of us as empaths have spent a lot of our lives not being understood or rather being denied by people, being in these situations where people deny what we're actually talking about. Now we're starting to wake up and go, wait a minute, there is something to this. People just are so disconnected they can't feel what we're feeling, but our empathy is actually part of healing the world. So we have to let it rise. We have to embrace it. We have to learn how to use it. It's like, guys, with great power comes great responsibility. We're fucking superheroes here. We have to be responsible Jedis. Otherwise, the dark forces could come back and claim your soul. You wouldn't want that. I know you wouldn't want that, you guys. So just love yourself and love everybody else. Even this is like one of the things that people also maybe don't get from me, but it's like, so even when it's like harsh or like crazy shit went down, i.e. like abuse patterns or i.e. like weird fucking shit happening with friends, manipulation or using me vibrashe, I always come back to myself in love. Like I'm not somebody who, and I'm obviously I've sat in, I'm a part, what's it called? A Course in Miracles. So I'm a teacher of A Course in Miracles technically. And like yeah, you don't want to be holding grievance, yo. So like, and you're so acutely aware of you're creating the reality. So you're like, why did I do that? That's the self-reflection bit is that I don't want to blame people. Even if on a physical level, they're the persecutor or they're the abuser or the liar or whatever, even if that's there, why did I attract that? It's my fucking responsibility to work it out. And then find love and compassion because let's be honest, when people are acting in shitty ways, including our own self, it's because we're unconscious, it's because we're unaware, and it's because we have some karma to work through. It's karmic backlog or our own sacred geometric projection, which needs outworking because our soul is still carrying baggage from multiple timelines. Oh yeah, here's more connected to each other than how should I say connected closer with connection. Yeah. Yeah, it does make sense. And because I think that's just the evolution of our species, right? Hi, you guys. So I'm gonna go see. I'm very aware of like the loud pitches, right? Hi, Wisconsin. Amazing. You guys don't forget to check out All to Love on Instagram. I feel like some of you are coming over to Instagram, which is really nice and I appreciate. Similarly, hey yo Rude. Similarly, if you guys are on Instagram, feel free to come on over to YouTube and check us out here. It's really fun over here. I love it. So we're now kind of moving up to the full moon energies, which is also the equinox. And no, I didn't dim the lights. But I could like come closer. It's quite bright on the phone. Me too, Justin. And I'm actually pretty certain Oh yeah, yo roots, duh. You did tell me this already. Again, presence, just like a child, like forgetting everything all the time. Also, there's another. I want to say Megs. Megs is roots. Is she's roots on YouTube, and so I'm like I'm seeing your roots, thinking of Megs. Um, but essential ascension, I got you. I got you. So yes, I actually believe we're gonna meet in person also. I feel like a lot of us are actually we're pioneering that because there's such a resonant. I do love, and John Beanie as well is totally part of this with all of us. So you guys, I feel like we've actually, and again, we might be in the heavy still. There might be a fair amount of purging and healing and clearing. We're getting better at it though. We're honoring it. We're learning how to be with it in a more honest and substantial way. And then ultimately, uh, we'll just be moving forward, guided and protected. Summer solstice, they might just be filming a karmic contract. I might have to look back at that, right? So yeah, we're we are some manifesting fools. Come on now, right? There's so much benevolence to share, and I think that's part of this next wave. There's a lot more authenticity that's rising in the collective, which is part and parcel of us learning these profound lessons so that we can shine the light for brothers and sisters all around the world, basically. And that just means you being true to you. Um, and all we can do is continue to show up and do our best to love people, right? I know, yo roots. No, no, you don't confuse. I get confused now. I um I have so much love for you guys. I usually do get a chance to come back to these videos and I like to like scan through and look through. As always, you guys feel free to email me. I love getting your emails. I've actually just posted on Instagram about life coaching or just coaching, online coaching or whatever, which is just chats. But um the people who find me just like not on these platforms, they might anyway, you guys can always talk to me. I appreciate your benevolence, your generosity, and your love. I'm gonna be editing for Vegan Love all day today, so wish me luck on that. And hey Gigi, how are you? And again, like I say, I like to look through these, possibly add comments and stuff. But otherwise, you guys, thank you so much for joining me this morning. You know this, like this is literally like some of my favorite timings of the day. Um, I'm wishing you so much love and creative spirit. And let's just keep praying for one another's highest joys and so much abundance to come sort of flowing into our realities so that we can continue to share, shine, give, love, and receive. Hey, Spirit Windwalker, you're in Montana. I'll probably be visiting Montana later in the year, or actually later in the year sounds like it's way off. Like I'm talking a few weeks I'll be going to Montana. Lights came back. Okay, but in my world, my lights started to dim because they're starting to die out. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all the sharing. And like we've all agreed, this community is effing awesome. I love you guys, and I'll speak to you real soon. Instagram, YouTube. Have a good day, you guys. I'll speak to you soon. Peace out.